Social media has been buzzing in recent years with tragic incidents that have occurred around the world. Fatal and frightening incidents that have claimed the lives of many from various countries. The cause was a celebration of a holiday that resembles everything except for the joyous occasions. For us, and indeed for humanity, holidays are occasions for joy, color, and everything happy. However, this holiday called Halloween is the complete opposite. Most of us have seen films about this holiday with its dark features of clothing and scary costumes. There's no need to search for a film or pictures. Now the question is, what is this holiday? What is its origin? Where did it come from? And how did Christianity get involved? Has it truly become a Christian holiday in its own right? Listen closely and hear the story in detail. Halloween is one of the well-known Christian holidays celebrated around the world on October 31st each year. Halloween night is one of the nights awaited by both adults and children alike. In short, Halloween is All Saints' Day. The holiday falls on November 1st, and the night before it is what gave this day its name, as it was known in English as All Hallows' Eve. This was later transformed to Halloween. So, it is supposed to be a Christian holiday and have Christian origins, but if you really think this is the case, you are mistaken. Halloween celebrations go back to ancient Celtic or Gaelic traditions, dating back to pre-Christian times. These celebrations were specific to groups or peoples of Celtic or Gaelic pagan origins, which were Indo-European groups that inhabited Europe, specifically Ireland, France, and the United Kingdom. These celebrations, which were called Samhain, marked the beginning of the new year for these groups. Of course, they did not have a calendar specifying these celebrations on November 1st, but these people celebrated Samhain at the end of the harvest season and the warm season, the seasons of light for them, marking the beginning of the dark, cold, and frosty seasons associated in one way or another with death. This led historians to set the date of November 1st for these celebrations. These pagan groups had specific rituals for celebrating this day, quite similar to the rituals and features of Halloween, which made the connection between them certain. According to the Celts, the day, or specifically the night before Samhain, which falls on October 31st according to the Gregorian calendar, is the night when the barrier between the world of the living and the dead is opened, and it is the night when the spirits of their dead return to earth. The Celtic people viewed this night as a suitable time for divination and knowing the future, as the spirits, according to their beliefs, caused chaos and ruined their crops. Therefore, the Celts would turn to their priests and religious leaders to know what the long winter nights had in store for them. To this end, the priests would light a great sacred fire around which people would gather, and they would throw crops and livestock as a type of offering to their gods to protect them from wandering spirits. During the celebration, the Celts would wear special costumes made from animal heads and skins, which were black and frightening. After the festival, the Celts would light their outdoor hearths from the sacred fire to protect them during the winter, and they would leave food and drink on tables and empty chairs in front of their homes. For whom do you think? Yes, for the spirits that would return that night. This is truly terrifying. Let's move to the year 43 AD, which witnessed the Roman Empire's control over most of the lands inhabited by the Celts. During the 400 years of Roman rule over these territories, two Roman celebrations were merged with the Samhain celebration. The first was called Feralia, which historians place in late October and is a day dedicated to honoring the dead. The second was a festive day dedicated to Pomona, the goddess of agriculture and fruit among the Romans. The symbol of this goddess is the apple. Now, listen to the following. One of the most prominent activities celebrated during Halloween is what is known as bobbing for apples, which involves grabbing an apple and retrieving it from the water using only one's teeth. Are you starting to see the similarities, my friends? On May 13th, 609 AD, Pope Boniface IV dedicated this day to honor Christian martyrs. Pope Gregory III later added All Saints to this day and moved the celebration from May 13th to November 1st. By the 9th century AD, Christian influence had spread to the Celtic lands, and Celtic society began to merge its ancient customs and celebrations with the new Christian customs and traditions. In the year 1000 AD, the Church designated November 2nd as a day to honor the souls of the dead, which historians considered an attempt by the Church to merge, or rather replace, the Celtic Day of the Dead. The celebration of this day was quite similar to the Celtic Samhain celebration, with the great fire present and costumes of saints and angels, as well as devils, parading among the living in grand festive marches. However, the celebration of this day initially took place only in the English colonies. With the spread of Christianity and its entry into the New World, namely the Americas, it began to blend with the religions and traditions of indigenous peoples, leading to the emergence of a new version of Halloween. The celebrations among neighbors and children began, with telling terrifying tales of the dead becoming central to these celebrations, in addition to dancing, singing, and fortune-telling. By the 19th century, Halloween began to gradually creep into American territories. In the latter half of the 19th century, there was a massive influx of immigrants into America, particularly Irish immigrants. They brought their beliefs and celebrations surrounding Halloween with them, greatly contributing to the holiday's spread across American territories. Americans began wearing costumes and touring houses and neighborhood streets, asking for treats and food. From this tradition, what is known today as trick-or-treat emerged, a custom typically involving children in costumes going door-to-door asking for candy or playing harmless tricks on homeowners. However, Halloween costumes and celebrations initially had a bloody nature directly related to death. To solve this problem, which the American community deemed destructive, especially after the spread of what they called devilish clothing, costumes, and decorations, and particularly because community leaders, including religious leaders, were aware of the holiday's pagan origins, they sought to protect future generations from fire and devil worship. They replaced many bloody elements with more festive ones. Hence, illuminated pumpkins appeared instead of sacred fire, and while costumes remained fancy, they were no longer limited to the attire of the dead and devils. Costumes of princesses and superheroes, among others, were introduced. Of course, many still prefer to wear scary costumes simply to celebrate this day. Between 1920 and 1950, Halloween celebrations became more of a social event than a religious one. Here we can say that the connection between the celebration and Christianity has largely become invalid. The features of this celebration spread throughout neighborhoods and homes, and emptying this day of its bloody origins yielded success. So, has the idea of this holiday and its reality become clear to you? So, my friends, this is what we have to share about Halloween, with its strange customs and features. We do not know its true or even fictitious purpose, but can these customs be classified as spontaneous and ordinary practices that emerged from a historical incident? Or are they stories that humans found appealing? And has celebrating it become an automatic, inherited practice through generations and various civilizations? These celebrations have become essential for our children, with schools dedicating time and effort to decoration and special programs for it, despite its obvious bloody connotations at times, from costumes and decorations to the shapes of sweets and foods served on many occasions. Is its widespread popularity, especially in our days, something spontaneous and natural? Or does it carry hidden messages and purposes that may or may not be real? Who knows? The answer is uncertain and cannot be settled, as each of us has our own opinion and perspective on this subject, which we of course respect. As for me, I have laid the origin of the tale before you and am very eager to hear your opinion.